Hey guys, Thogdad here, welcome back to a new video. Now today, Thogdad's back!
But you know what? This weekend I was playing cricket in glorious sunshine. And you know what I got? I got a cold.
You got a cold?
I got a cold in Montenegro, plus 24. I don't know how I got it. I think it might have had something to do with the old Paul Merson. Thogdad Army never stops. So when Thogdad said to me, we're making a video, you make the video.
Exactly, and when Thogdad's back, I know how many people said they missed him. So absolutely smash the like button if you're happy Thogdad's back, and if you want Thogdad to get better with his cold. Today we're going to be answering a very interesting question. How would Celtic and Rangers do in the Premier League? Lots of people in the comments have been asking us to make a video on it. So we put the facts, we've got the current squads, and we're going to be making an answer by the end of this video where we think they're going to go if they were dropped in the Premier League tomorrow. I want to hear what you guys think in the comment section down below, and let us know where you think they'll come.
Now when I was like probably 10 years old, my brother Stuart, Thog Uncle, said to me, who do you support? And he's like, I'm going to support Rangers. And I'm like, well, I'll support Aberdeen then. I'll start off with a little Thogdad fact. Over the last 4 years, who have been the 3 most successful teams in the Scottish Premier Football League? In 3rd place, Rangers. In 2nd place, Aberdeen. 1st place, Celtic. Over the years, we know Rangers have won the Scottish Football League 54 times, Celtic 50 times. So today we're just talking about Celtic and Rangers, aren't we, Thogdad?
Exactly. So let's begin with Celtic. How do you think they're doing in the Premier League, Dad?
Well, this is a really tough question. It's very hard to compare English and Scottish teams because they rarely play each other. So what I've done is I've had a good look at how Celtic have done in Europe over the last 5 years. Last year, they lost to AEK Athens, and then they got into the last 32 of the Europa League and lost to Valencia, which is reasonable, isn't it? The year before that, they were 3rd in the Champions League group stage and got into the last 32 of the Europa League against Zenit. We went to that game, didn't we, Thogdad?
We did, yeah.
The year before that, they entered the Champions League group stage and finished 4th. Now, they were thrashed 7-0 by Barcelona, but famously, they drew 3-3 with Man City. So it's a mixed bag, but overall, Celtic have done reasonably well on the European stage.
So I'm going to talk about their current team, and I've come to a conclusion that 9 of the current players are Premier League fit and ready, and those players are McGregor, Forrest, Edouard, Julian, Aya, Nitcham, Forster, Christie and Scott Brown, but he's getting on a bit, so maybe only 1 more year in him. Those are the players that I believe are Premier League ready. The rest of the squad would need to be replaced. If they want to be Premier League fit, then they need a whole squad who can go in that and play against the big clubs. And obviously people will go on about that loss they had with Cluj very recently that knocked them out of the Champions League. However, can we just point out that Cluj beat Lazio 2-1 as well? And you guys would definitely say that Lazio would do all right in the Premier League. So I think everyone can have an off game, and I think Celtic did then. They're in the same Europa League group as them, so it'll be interesting to see how Celtic do against Cluj second time round and whether that was just a one-off game or they'll do them again. But personally, I'm going to be straight up and say Celtic would finish 15th in the Premier League.
Oh, now that's interesting. Celtic are disadvantaged because, no offence to the Scottish League, but Celtic don't get much challenge in their domestic league. So the most
apart from Rangers.
Yes, apart from Rangers, apart from Aberdeen, the most challenging games that Celtic play are when they enter the European tournaments. So in some ways, you've got to say, if Celtic entered the English Premier League tomorrow, not how would they do this season, but how would they do it in 3 to 5 years. Now, it's interesting to note that Celtic's average attendance last year was around 58,000. Now, if they were in the English, or rather the British Premier League, they would be the 5th most supported club. Suddenly, more investment would come into the club. And suddenly, or rather within 3 to 5 years, Celtic would be a much better club.
The worldwide fan base that the Premier League brings you, the shirt sales, the revenue, the TV money, that money, when that goes into Celtic, as well as more investment, with people wanting to invest into the Premier League, that would create better quality players for them to actually, I think, give them a few years, they could push on and make it a top 7. I think Celtic could add to that top 6. I think they'd be competing with teams like Leicester and Wolves for that 7th place if they got a bit of time. But right now, with their current team, I'd say they'd finish 15th in the Premier League.
Now, it's a sad fact that the most successful English football teams are the richest. There's occasional exceptions like Leicester when they won the league, which is incredible. Brand Finance Football ranks Celtic the 37th richest club in Europe, and worth around £125 million. Now compare that to Manchester United, which is worth $3.8 billion. So in some ways, how could Celtic compare with the Man Uniteds, the Man Cities, the Chelseas? They couldn't, because these are multi-billion-dollar enterprises. I think in year 1, Celtic would survive in the Premiership, and I've put them 15th.
All right, we shake
it. Incredible.
And I didn't want to shake your hand, Dad, because you've got the flu. So I think I need to go wash my hands, guys.
In year 1, I think Celtic would survive. And in years 2, 3, 4, 5, I think Celtic would challenge for Europe.
Yeah.
So I think they would become a sort of a top 8 club.
If they got into Europe, it wouldn't be as easy that time round, because if they're playing Premier League fixtures every week, then they can't concentrate as much as they can as when they're in the Scottish Premiership. So I don't think their results would be as good. So it's interesting we put them in the same place.
Yes.
Now it's time to move on to Rangers.
Yes.
A team that in recent years, it's fair enough for me to say that haven't been performing as well. Obviously, they went through administration not too long ago.
Yeah.
Ever since then, they've had to build and build. And Steven Gerrard has done the best job so far of getting them as close as possible to Celtic. They've been closer than ever in their recent years of trying to catch up with Celtic. So the team is looking strong. And this year, with some new signings like Ojo, like Aribo, they really could be pushing in. There's only 3 points in it, and that 3 points came from when Celtic beat Rangers. So it's going to be a 2-horse race. I think Ryan Kent's also a huge signing for them. Let me go to the current players that I think are Premier League ready in the Rangers squad. And I'm going to go with 7. I said 9 for Celtic and 7 for Rangers. So I've got Defoe. I reckon he's still got Premier League in him. McGregor, their goalkeeper. Morelos, who would bag goals in the Premier League. He is so good.
He's special.
Ryan Kent from Liverpool. Now he's at Rangers, of course, but that guy's a very good winger and very dangerous. Aribo from Charlton. Obviously went there. He's been killing the game. He's definitely Premier League ready, I reckon. And Arfield, who just came from Burnley, so he's definitely Premier League ready. Tavernier as well, who's been incredible for Rangers.
Absolutely.
Now, I would say Davis, but he's 34 years old, so he's getting on a bit. And Ojo, he has been looking very good on loan at Rangers this year, and he's someone you should definitely look out for. He's got pace on the wing, and he's probably going to be Premier League ready, maybe after this season. So there's a lot of potential in that Rangers side, and under Steven Gerrard, who knows what they could do. But I reckon in the Premier League, like I said, with Premier League money, they could definitely push forward, like I said, the same with Celtic. But right now, I'm going to say Rangers would be 17th.
Ooh,
so just avoiding relegation.
Interesting.
But it would be close. Because I compare them to teams like Newcastle. I compare the squads currently and managers. And I just see Rangers edging them.
Interesting. In 2008, Rangers got into the final of the UEFA Cup.
That's pretty special.
And they played a wonderful team called Zenit St. Petersburg.
I'm half Russian.
But actually, I'd like to take a little trip down Thogdad memory lane. I used to live in St. Petersburg. I used to be a season ticket holder in the mid-90s. And I thought, well, it's a beautiful day in Manchester. I'm going to wear my Zenit shirt. I get to the centre of Manchester. There are tens of thousands of Rangers fans, all having a bevy, all having a sing-song. And I thought, oh my God, I'm an English guy wearing a Russian shirt. I thought, the only thing I have to do here is speak nothing but Russian. Whenever the Glasgow Rangers fans saw us, they got the beers in. They were so friendly. And when they found out we had tickets for the game, they were offering hundreds of pounds because, you know, most of them didn't have tickets. So we get to the ground, City of Manchester Stadium. A Scottish lad comes up to me and he's a bit upset and he's like, oh mate, can you get me into the ground? Because the stewards have been really tight, they're not letting us in. First of all, hide your Rangers shirt. I put a Zenit scarf around him, yeah? I put my arm around him and said, right, you're not called Alistair anymore, you're called Sergey. Right, we're going to go to the gate and all you're going to say, I'm going to ask you a question in Russian, all you're going to say is da da da, which means yes, yes, yes. So we go up to the gate, me and Alistair, Sergey, yeah? And the stewards are like, oh, are you Russians? I said to Sergey, I said, Ty Ruski? And he's like, da da da. I pushed Sergey to the front of the queue and he got in.
Wow.
Yeah. But how have Rangers done in Europe recently? Last year they came third in the Europa League group. The year before that they lost to the semi-pro Progress Niedercom of Luxembourg. Now, it's been hard, mainly because of the administration. And that's not the Rangers players or fans' fault, is it? That's the bosses behind the scene.
However, last game they did beat Feyenoord 1-0. So some good signs. They beat some good teams this year. They beat another team before that. This year they're looking good in the Europa League. It'd be very interesting if they come up against Wolves, another team that's currently in the Europa League.
Yes.
Then we can make a real statement from that game, how they compare to a 7th fighting place team in the Premier League.
Absolutely. So Rangers' average attendance last season was almost 50,000. And if they were a British Premier League team, they would be ranked 7th, just behind Man City. So Rangers has a huge, passionate, wonderful support. I think Rangers would struggle in year one in the British Premier League. I think they would be relegated this season in 19th place. I think they'd come straight back up, and I think eventually they'd be top half.
Okay.
But they're not quite ready to be a Premier League team.
Yeah.
Would I like to see it? I would love it.
It would be cool.
I would love to see games like Man United, Celtic, Rangers against Everton.
The thing is, if you can have Welsh teams in the Premier League, why can't you have Scottish? To be fair,
and the Aberdeens and the Hearts and the Hibernians.
I can see both sides of the story, but go follow our Instagrams, Thogdad and Thogden. He's ill at the moment, so if you could follow him on Instagram, you'd absolutely love it. You may even follow some of you guys back, and I'll do the same. I'll be following people back in my recents that come from this video today. That's what we have to say.
Yes.
Now I want to hear what you guys think in the comment section down below. Smash the like button, because Thogdad's bloody ill. What's the like target for today?
The like target today is 3,500.
And just hit the like button. Literally look at Thogdad. He looks like Rednose Reindeer.
Look at this dude. Wait till you see the. No, 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 no.